Welcome to Local Everywhere. I'm Cynthia Pooler. My guest today is Colleen Bennett, and she does what's called the Keys program, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Colleen, tell us a little bit about the Keys program.
Sure. Sure. The KEYS program is a 501(c)(3) nonprofit organization that my husband and I founded actually back in 1993. So we're celebrating our 30th anniversary in November.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't believe it either. But we founded KEYS in memory of my dad. My dad had battled cancer, and during his journey, we were able to help him um, using some music to help calm him and help relax him and help him through his journey. So after he passed away, we created KEYS in his memory so that we could help kids who are battling cancer through the power of music. So
Wow, that's great. So, what kind of cancer did your dad have?
he had a rare multiple myeloma cancer. Yeah, it was a blood, one of the blood disorder cancers. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I had lymphoma back in 2007.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I'm glad you're here with us and doing well.
Me too.
I
Um,
hope.
so how many do you just do your area or do you go beyond your area?
We go beyond our area, actually. Our headquarters, what do you call our headquarters, is here in Sherrill, which is right now it's been my home office here at our home. We made space in our home to have the Keys office. But we have staff who work remotely, who are on staff with us, as well as music therapists. But we serve all of New York State as well as across the country. We serve 122 children's hospitals across the country now. So it's amazing.
So children who are, suffering from cancer, do their families get in touch with you? Does the hospital get in touch with you? How does that work?
Combination of both, actually. A lot of times when a child is diagnosed, there's such an amazing community around the families that rally around them that we will hear within a few days from someone in their community who knows about us, or like a family friend, a teacher, the doctor's office, or the hospital will also let us know. And then the family gets in contact with us. So it's pretty much referrals for all of the kids that are referred to us. Yeah.
So when you start working with a new child, how does tell me how that works and what do you do for them?
Sure, sure. Well, we get them on board. We try and make the process as simple as possible because these families have a lot going on. They're trying to just digest, what's happening in their life, and their life has been totally turned upside down. So our goal is to provide music therapy for them, for the child who's battling cancer, as well as their siblings. We provide all of our programs for free for children who are battling cancer and their siblings. So, we'll connect with them, and usually we start with like a virtual music therapy session because oftentimes in the early stages of a cancer diagnosis, the child has compromised immunity. So we don't want to go into their home or anything like that to compromise their immunity. So we'll start up with some virtual music therapy. And I should note too that when the child is diagnosed, when they're in the hospital, the children's hospital like Golisano, they have amazing music therapists on staff at the hospital. We work a lot with Rochester and Syracuse Golisano Children's Hospitals, and they just have a great staff. So our role is to help the families when they're not in the hospital. So when the kids leave the hospital, they no longer have that music therapy support. So that's where we step in, and we're that second line of support. So when they're home, we can do music therapy virtually, or we can do it in person when they're ready, when they're able to have visitors. We'll do it in person. And we also do family concert nights where we celebrate a Keys kid every Monday night. We do a virtual concert. So this is one of the early things we do with a child when they're first diagnosed, because they certainly need a lot of support in those initial months and weeks when they're diagnosed. So we do a live concert and celebrate the child, play all their favorite songs, and their friends and family can tune in and comment during the concert. It creates a really cool community where we're a stage where a child's very isolated, and they're not able to be out and about. They're in the hospital possibly or at home. So we try and connect that community to them in that way. And it brings some smiles to them, help them through.
Well, do you do those virtually? Do you do them on the computer? Wow,
We do it by Facebook Live. Yeah.
really?
Yep. And we have amazing musicians that work with us. We started doing them virtually back when COVID hit. Initially, we used to do backyard concerts for the kids, or we do a gathering with the families.
Hmm.
We always wanted to do something virtually, but before COVID and before Zoom was common, it really wasn't
Right.
mainstream. People weren't sure how to navigate the technology, and we weren't really sure either then. But then when COVID hit, it just actually 2 weeks after we were into COVID, we're like, we have to do this. This is our time to really be able to support these kiddos and everyone at that time, to bring some joy to not only our Keys kids, but the community in general, because everybody really needed that. So, yeah.
So what are the ages? Are children all different ages and
They
all
are.
types of cancer?
Yes, all types of cancer. Kids from infant through 18 years old are the kids we serve. So, and they don't have to be actively in treatment either. So even when, they've gone through their treatment and they're doing amazing, a lot of the kiddos still have a lot of anxiety and fears, because there's always that fear of recurrence and things like that. So we're with them throughout their life, till they're 18. And oftentimes many of our Keys kids become volunteers with us. They want to get involved and give back, which is so beautiful.
So when you say infants, what's the
Mhm.
youngest child you've served?
I think there was a 3-month-old child that
What?
yeah, do you believe it? And
With
that,
cancer?
yeah, yep. Isn't that amazing?
Was that child born with cancer?
You would think so. It was discovered when they were 3 months old. Yep. So you have to probably think that they probably were, you know? Yep.
Oh, that must be awfully devastating because, in 2007, I had lymphoma and I would go for chemo treatments. And as an adult, what's in store for you. But how does a child deal with something like that? That's got to be terrible.
It is. It's, the journey that these parents go through is just the worst case scenario, really. It's so hard just to get that diagnosis your child has cancer. It's just so difficult. And our job is to bring joy and light and love and support into their life. And we do that through music. And it's just so important for us to remind these families too that cancer doesn't define them. Even though their child's battling this illness, they're still an amazing, smiling, giggling family, and we help bring that out in them with our music therapy and also our family respite days that we do for families too. Just to give them a break from, because it feels so defining when you have such a devastating diagnosis. And it's quite a fight for these kiddos and their families.
So the kids and the families that come to you, how does music help a child going through this?
Yeah, music therapy is really cool because there's so many different aspects to it that it can help. And it's kind of that universal language for everyone. No matter what age, culture, background, anything, music seems to reach everyone. So that's one of the benefits of what we do. I feel really fortunate we're able to do that using music as that tool to help the kiddos. So we use music as a tool to help kids who are experiencing anxiety, possibly a child who's got an upcoming surgery coming up. Maybe they're really nervous about the surgery, and we teach them coping skills. And so for instance, we have one of our Keys kiddos. She has to go to Boston oftentimes for procedures and surgery and testing. So she works with a music therapist, and they've created a playlist of her favorite go-to songs. And these songs are songs that make her feel good. The songs that keep her feeling strong and positive. And she plays those songs, all the way to the hospital. They'll play them, in the hospital while they're there. And in fact, sometimes when she's traveling to the hospital, the music therapist will do the therapy session with her in the car, which is really cool because we can do it virtually anywhere. So it's really cool. So it really makes a big difference, and for the parents too, because it's just there's a lot of anxiety is one of the biggest aspects and area that we're really trying to help kids overcome and teach them how to cope with, because there's a lot of scary stuff with the diagnosis, a lot of scary procedures they have to do, so much unknowns and so many things that are out of their control. So do like songwriting with the kids so they can share their story, which is really cool. It really empowers them. We have one little girl, Alea. She loves just write songs, and she just messaged me. Her mom messaged me the other day, and she wants to write songs and record them to inspire other kids who are going through the same journey.
Great.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So these kids are we're just so blessed to know these families. It's really, this journey has been such a blessing to us. It's just amazing.
The anxiety, I know very well how that feels like, because right before every treatment I would get like really anxious because I knew what was coming down the pike.
Yeah,
And as an adult, I'm able to, kind of understand it. But
yeah,
as a child, I
yeah.
just can't get, and a 3-month-old, I can't even fathom it.
I know, I know, I know. I can't either. It's, and things with a 3-month-old, we would do much involvement with the parent and the child, obviously, because the parent's holding the child, during their sessions and things. So it's dually benefit for both the parent and the child, to help them and help with some bonding and nurturing, to because when the parent's stress maybe can lower a little bit with an infant, the baby's stress will also lower as well, because they don't know what is coming, what's going on. They don't understand.
Right.
And mom and dad are nervous and anxious, and
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
yeah.
So, when you first started doing this, I think this is wonderful. I'm sure it's been a eye opener for you to see how the families cope and the children cope.
Yes, it has. It really has. And it, they're really, I don't know if this is right or not, but families, they're in this an inspiration to us. And I don't know if I could handle what they handle as well as they handle it. Thank God, my children were healthy growing up, and we never had to deal with anything like this. And I just can't imagine that feeling that parents have, and they're strong. And I know they don't feel strong every day. And I know we teach them it's okay not to feel strong every day. It's okay to feel like a day where you just want to cry, and that's okay, but and also help teach them just keep going. And we teach the parents those coping skills as well, and have those tools in their tool belt. We had one parent one time reached out to us for advice on how to tell a prognosis to their child. Their child had a terminal prognosis, and
Oh boy.
yeah, I mean, and they're like, how do I say this to an 8-year-old child? How do I, and I don't know if there is no right or wrong way. It's just what comes from the heart. And it's tough stuff. Our music therapists are amazing. They know exactly what to do and exactly what to say. We have 10 music therapists on staff that work with our families, and each and every one of them have unique abilities and talents and things they bring to music therapy with our families. So we're really fortunate. We have a great crew that has that versatility and experience.
So, over the evolution of your project, did people come to you? Did you acquire people as you went along, or were these people from the beginning?
That's a good question. So when we first started, we had no idea what we were doing. To be honest with you, I was a music teacher. I taught piano and voice, and I had a musical preschool I taught up in Holland Patton. And I had never started a nonprofit. We didn't have like a big endowment or anything to start. We just knew in our heart we had to do this. So we just decided to start raising awareness of the power of music. So the story is when my dad was in the hospital, he had a day where he was in a lot of pain and anxious, very anxious, and he couldn't sleep and just couldn't get away from the pain. He wanted to go home. And so I went home that night and I felt helpless. I didn't know what to do to help my dad. So I thought, I know he loves to hear me play the piano. So I recorded some piano music for him and I brought it in the next day and I put little earbuds on his ears. And within half an hour, my dad was sound asleep. He was finally calm in his bed. He was relaxing. He had a break from those beeping monitors and that place he didn't want to be for a little bit. And I couldn't believe the transformation. I was like, wow, this is the power of music. This is why I was drawn to be a musician and be a music teacher and just be in music, because I had never experienced that before. It was just beautiful. And so the doctors and nurses were coming in and out and they said to me, what did you do to him? And I said, I just played music, and I was kind of surprised they didn't know. And at the same time, this was 1993. And music therapy wasn't mainstream and by any means. There wasn't a lot of holistic therapies or things like that really in the mainstream yet. So we decided, we really need to spread awareness. This is powerful and this can really help kids. And my dad was this big teddy bear of a man. So kids loved him, always involved in youth programs. And so I said, we need to do this in his memory. He was just 54 when he passed away.
No.
Yeah. So like he has another half a lifetime to go. We're gonna, continue his legacy by creating keys and sharing that power of music. So initially we just started talking to people. I would sign up for conferences and talk to different hospitals and medical groups and shared the information. We had resources and tools because I had studied music therapy in college. And I had some wonderful advisors and folks that provided me lots of great information on music therapy. And we really advocated really strong for music therapy in our first 10 years. It was really a big part of what we did. And we really worked nationally more than we did locally, actually. My husband worked for NASCAR at the time. So we would travel to the different tracks, and wherever he was racing or, was working in racing, we would go to a children's hospital near wherever he was working and would talk to a children's hospital there, child life specialists and things, and share that power of music. And pretty soon they started asking us to do some bedside music for the kids there. So I created Mrs. G. Clef back in 2000, and she, which was a character, like a Mother Goose kind of character. And when we visited the hospital, I would go to the pediatric wing and go in and go room to room and do music with the kiddos, along with the child life specialist in the hospital. And the goal was to provide some music and comfort to the family, but also teaching the child life specialist how they could use music every day. So then we started recording music because they're like, well, we need music while you're not here. So we just had this evolution of just raising awareness, and then doing some bedside music, and then providing resources with CDs and music. We have over 100 songs on our website of different kinds of music that children can watch, or videos and music to listen to 24/7. So whenever they want to see different music video or some songs they might enjoy, it's there for them. So that was our early resources until about 2004. And then we started expanding, doing more programming locally and providing music therapy hands-on, where we go right into the children's home doing music therapy. And then, like I said, in 2020, we started doing it virtually also. So
you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, long time. Yeah.
I think people shy away from somebody who has a terminal illness because it reminds them of their own mortality.
Yeah.
For you to do this, all the time, I'm sure it's left something in your heart, right?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Absolutely. I just want to cry. It's the families we've been blessed to know. And, the realities is 1 in 5 of the children we've served have not survived more than 5 years. So we have a lot of amazing angels up there, guiding us. And I picture them with my dad up in heaven, and him hugging them up there, and welcoming them, and just continuing their legacy as well. I know how important it is for our Keys families to say their name, like Kian and Hope and Arlo. And there's just so many families that we've had the honor to work with and get to know and become part of their family.
Now, have you, I'm sure you have, worked with somebody a young child who realizes that they're terminally ill?
Yeah,
Oh, that's got to be so tough.
it is. And most of the time, honestly, I don't know if the child fully understands, because they are children. Yeah, I don't know if they really understand what I think we understand it more than they do. And they seem just more accepting of, that's their life. And I know some of the kiddos you see, maybe over 10 years old, they definitely are more aware, of their terminal illness. Under 10, typically, they don't really understand fully, what the terminal illness means. But yeah, it's hard with the teens. It's really, really hard. Kids 10 and older, and they know. But we have an amazing music therapist, Amanda Meister Scherer. Her specialty is end of life music therapy, and we do a project called our Legacy Project at Keys, where we let the kids, typically kids who are 10 and older, but sometimes younger kids too, write a song to leave for their family. And it's just beautiful. And I think the peace that they have, that you see with them when they're writing this song, sharing their story, and leaving a message. Oh, sorry to even talk about, but sorry, but leaving that message, for their family, it's just beautiful. And our music therapist works right along with them, creating the music and sharing. We had one family this past year, Kian and his family, that Kian wasn't able to verbalize. He was younger. He was just 3 years old, and unable to verbalize much, but he loved music. Kian was a little music man. every being in him is music. And his family, he has a sister who is 6 years old, and she and the music therapist and his family wrote a song about Kian called Kian Strong. And it's just the most beautiful song. And his sister, they played the song at a celebration of life, and his sister actually got to sing their family's favorite song at the ceremony too. So, we try to involve the family in that bereavement and that processing of this tragedy, that's happening to their family. And we're there even after, now that Kian's passed away. June is his sibling, and we're going to be serving June until she's 18 years old, because she needs that love and support too, and their family does for sure.
About how many children have you helped over the years? Do you ever count?
I've never counted. And it's really funny. Somebody asked me that the other day, because we have our anniversary coming up in November. And I'm like, I don't know. I have to go look through the records and kind of guesstimate, but I honestly don't know. We serve about 850 kids here in Central New York every year. So, and then that's just Central New York kiddos. I think there's about 2,000 kiddos across the U.S. that we work with every year. And then there's the Children's Hospital. There's kind of this ripple, that we have with the children's hospitals as well. So, if we can touch one heart and one life, that's what life's all about.
You make me cry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. So I'm sure that there have been times when you felt very, very emotional when you were with somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with it to try to not show how emotional you feel.
That's a good question. Sometimes it's not easy, but I've learned over the years to focus on the good and the light and the love and our role, because our role isn't to heal the child or treat the child with medicines or anything. We don't do that. That's the doctor's job. Our job is just to bring some love and light and hope into their life. So I just, whenever I'm with a family, it's all about the smiles. That's what our slogan is at Keys. It's all about the smiles, because it's about creating smiles, creating hope in this moment, and some light and joy in this moment in their life. And then after I leave, to be honest with you, many times after I've left a child's home or a site, I'll sit in the car and cry for a little while. You know, you have to, because there's a lot of emotion in there, and you have to let that go and release it. And that emotion is a lot of joy, though, to be able to help to be part of their life. You know.
And I'm sure that you've still been in contact with a lot of the parents that whose children are not with us there, right?
No, absolutely. Yes, yes, so many. Oh, many, many, many families. Yeah, it's wonderful to watch their families grow. Some families, have had more children since the loss of their child, which is beautiful to see. And they include always include the child that's in heaven, in their life still, which is beautiful. At Christmas time, we deliver care packages to our Keys families, and we always send an angel ornament for the child who's in heaven. So as we give presents to all the kids, and we always remember them and honor them. And I know that's really important to the families.
So do you deal with the teachers of these children, the school districts?
We do a little bit, not a lot. They'll refer us to families oftentimes, but we usually don't do a lot of work directly with the school at all or anything like that. No.
What you do is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So why don't you give your contact information and how people could reach you?
Sure. You can go to our website. Our website is www.keysprogram.org, and that's like piano keys. KEYSPROGRAM.org. And people can email us from get the information on the website to email us or give us a call. My email is Colleen at thekeysprogram.org, but it's on the website also. And we have some ways people can get involved if they want to get involved in Keys. People are welcome to volunteer for our respite days. We have events in the summertime called our Smile Experiences, where people can volunteer and come out and help out. We're always looking for more volunteers. And we also are opening a new studio in September. We're going to open music classes to the community. And those music classes, the proceeds from the classes are going to enable us to do even more of our free outreach for our Keys kids who are battling cancer. So it's kind of a fundraiser, but also serving the community at the same time. So we're very excited about that.
This has been absolutely wonderful. It's remarkable, for you to do this year after year after year. It's gotta be. Did you ever deal with a situation that was so heart-wrenching that you said to yourself, I can't do this anymore?
Never. No, those families are going through way more than I can ever complain about. It's never, these families, it's just so important to be able to support and love these families as much as we can.
Wow. So you have been listening to Colleen Bennett from the Keys program. I'm Cynthia Pooler. This is Local Everywhere. And if you like the show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Colleen, it's been such a pleasure talking with you. And it was worth the wait.
It sure was. It was so great to talk with you. I appreciate it, Cynthia.